Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has come. We have in our midst a man that I only got to know about him, and I'm very sad that it only took an opportunity where I had to give a talk to meet a person like Martin Brown. You know, Martin has a very phenomenal story, both as a human being and also as an entrepreneur. If we can listen to his story and identify with it, we will be able to, where we are currently in our personal lives and in our entrepreneurial journey, to move to the next level. This is a man who life dealt him, a hard deck. But he didn't sit back and complain. He faced a literal problem. As entrepreneurs, it's not about what we're providing. It's about the solution that we give to problems that we identified. But here is now a problem that an individual was faced with. And today, we are celebrating him because he came with a solution not only for him, but for many other people in his situation. Can we please stand and give Martin Brown, the CEO and founder of Radical Mobility, a round of applause?
Good evening, everybody. I'd like a show of hands. Who in the audience tonight are entrepreneurs? You're all entrepreneurs. Wow. Zondi, do you know what? We are surrounded by the craziest, innovative, risk-taking people in the world. You people should really go see psychologists. Really. But I've got some bad news for you all. See, I read an article the other day in the Harvard Business Review. And what it basically said is that 34% of you sitting here right now today will not be with us next year this time. How do you feel about that? That's a third of you. Look around, because a third of you will not be here. You'll either be dead, now that sucks, huh? Unemployed, or terminally ill. Scary. But that is life, that is change. There's only three things in life that are certain: death, SARS, and disruptive change. I can promise you, sometimes in life, one day, it might have happened. It will definitely happen again if it hasn't happened. Life is going to stand up to you and smack you flat in the face until you lie on the ground. What you do after that is what's going to determine the rest of your life. What you take from that beating is going to shape you and sharpen your career as an entrepreneur. So what I want to do today is just take you on a short little journey of my life, where I was, what happened, and where I am now, and how I took these challenges and the adversity, and how I used that to create a business with a simple stick in my mouth. If you're all still worried about the 34%, don't worry, I just sucked that out of my thumb. You're all going to live a long life. So, on the 26th of December 1997, it was about 21 years ago, I ended up lying on a warm wooden jetty next to the Vaal River, paralyzed from my shoulders down. I couldn't feel a thing. I couldn't move a thing. All I could see was little pearly drops of water running down my chest. Sitting right next to me was my girlfriend. She was holding my hand. I could see she was holding my hand. but I couldn't feel it. I was totally removed from my body. Totally removed. I couldn't feel a thing. I felt scared. I felt panicked. My friends around me were panicked. And you know, as in South Africa, when something happens, you always get this rent a crowd, like 500 people standing around you, like, looking down. But what I realized was none of the 500 people standing around me could save my life. Not one of them. Not even my girlfriend holding my hand. I had a choice. We all have choices every single day of our lives. I had a choice at that moment. Either I could control of the situation, or I could lie there and die. But the irony is, you see, I'm a qualified advanced life support paramedic. Yes, it is my job to save lives, not to be saved. Here I'm lying on the jetty, I'm paralyzed, nobody around me knows what to do. I'm in a sticky situation. And what I did was I gated my thoughts, I put the problems outside of my mind, and I controlled the things that I can control. We face a lot of this in our business. Sometimes we have load shedding. Let's not go there today, should we? We have problems. We have financial problems. We have cash flow problems. We have technical problems. You know what? We can't do anything about that. We need to focus on the things that we can control, the things we can take control of. Focus on that. What I could focus on is I fell back to my training. And I got my girlfriend to get the phone. And I said, Sam, phone the paramedics. Get somebody to stabilize my neck. Hold the towel over me so the sun doesn't burn me. Although I was scared, although I was terrified, I had to take control. As an entrepreneur, I promise you, there are many times in your life where you are going to be scared, where you're going to be terrified, because you are taking enormous risk to be where you are. If you think being an entrepreneur is working 9 to 5, yeah, really. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, man. So it's probably 9 to 9, 7 days a week, 65 days for the rest of your life. But that is life. Finally, the helicopter arrived. I could hear the chopping of the blades through the air, and the helicopter sat down. And I felt this enormous feeling of freedom. Because now I could take all my worries and I could pass it along to somebody else. I didn't have to take control anymore. I didn't have to be in control. I didn't have to orchestrate my own rescue. And I think Zonde mentioned it just now. You're all sitting next to everybody, networking. The person next to you might be able to influence your business. Those people that were in the helicopter, they influenced my life. They came and they picked me up. My lecturer always told me that beware of the toes you stand on today, for they might support the arse you have to kiss tomorrow. For a pat on the back is merely 6 inches away from a kick on the butt. So you have to keep your friends closer, and your enemies even closer than your friends, because they are the people that are going to pull you through in the difficult times. Well, it was a 45-minute flight to Garden City Clinic. I always wanted to fly in a helicopter, preferably in a conscious state of mind, but I enjoyed it. And we got to Garden City Clinic. They pushed me into the trauma unit, and I got handed over to a new set of staff. It was such a familiar environment. The smell, the people, the moving of in and out. It's like a well-orchestrated ballet. Everybody knowing exactly what they should do. Sometimes our businesses, we wish they are like that, hey? Everything moving in and out and perfectly orchestrated. Sometimes it's just chaos. Well, they took x-rays. Suddenly the doctors started to walk out. The nurses started to walk out. And as the last doctor left, I stopped him. I said, "Doc, what's the prognosis? What does it look like?" And all he said to me was, "You have a 1% chance of walking again." And he left the room. Life hands us extremely hard knocks. And the first thing we do when we get handed these hard knocks is we deny. Denial is the first thing of change. And that's exactly what I did. In my mind, I told him, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's just a dislocation. In about a month's time, it'll be fine. I'll get feeling back. I'll walk again." We deny. Well, I ended up in ICU for 2.5 months. I had some medieval torture device strapped to my head with 18 kilograms of weight trying to pull my neck straight. There I laid for 2.5 months. I had a lot to think about. Think about what was my life going to be like. You see, I was a paramedic. I was a professional ballroom and Latin dancer. I was an acrobat. I enjoyed outdoor life. I enjoyed running around. I enjoyed being with people, saving lives. And now, what's my life going to be like? I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. Because I've never been paralyzed again in my life. But I promised myself one thing as I laid there in hospital. I set my first goal. It was a small goal. My first goal was, I want to fly in a helicopter again, in a conscious state of mind this time. Exactly 2 months after my accident, while on a ventilator, while in ICU, they organized for me to take a trip around Joburg in a helicopter on my birthday, which is on the 26th of February. So anybody wants to send presents, please? I'll drop you my email address. It's coming up soon. I do accept credit cards. And as soon as that helicopter landed again, I got back into ICU. I realized something. If I can lie on this bed, strapped to a machine that's mechanically breathing for me, and I can't move, but I can set a goal, just imagine what I can do afterwards. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get home. Finally, after 2.5 months in ICU, 1 month in rehab center, I got home. I didn't have a wheelchair because the medical aid was exhausted. I couldn't afford one. My friends got some money together and they got me a manual wheelchair. Most of my time, I laid in bed. And to make money, I had to resort to the oldest profession known to mankind. You know what that is, huh? Oh, yeah. I know there's a lot of money in it, but really, what were you thinking? No, I used my voice. I got a computer, and on the computer was voice-activated software. And I started a little company called Living Web Creations. And this was back in like 1998, when websites were just a new thing. I started designing one-page websites with voice-activated software. I knew absolutely nothing about web design. So I got into Yahoo, because Google just didn't exist right then. And I Googled how to write HTML text. And I sat for weeks and weeks and learned how to write HTML, dynamics HTML, how to program in JavaScript. And I got a little program called Front Page 98. And I started designing one-page websites. And my girlfriend would go out in the afternoon and she would sell a one-page website for 250 Rand. And that's how I started making money. Just by idea, with a simple voice activation, anything can be done. I used my voice. I didn't need my hands. I need my brain, my willpower, and my voice. Well, for 3 years, I still couldn't afford an electric wheelchair. My dad was working in Zambia on the mines. He was helping building up the mines there. And finally, we got enough money together to buy an electric wheelchair, the chair of my dreams. I could now move around independently. I didn't have to wait for my mom to push me around. If I want to go outside, I could go. If I want to come back, I could go. My independence, my legs. Finally, this chair arrived from Australia. It took them about 5 to 6 months to complete it. When this chair arrived, it was beautiful. Everything I dreamed of. Except it came without batteries. And the seat was built for somebody that's about 5'10". Hey, we South Africans, we big boys. We don't fit in these small Chinese Mardi biscuit things. But I was so excited that I got in that chair and I drove around. I could move. 3 days straight. Sleep at night, next morning I'm all over the yard. But the problem was, you see, if the seating is incorrect on a wheelchair, it causes something called a pressure sore. Me sitting in that wheelchair for 3 days cost me 6 months in bed. There I laid in bed, my wheelchair standing in the corner, my pride and joy, my freedom, my mobility. Yet I could not use it. And as most entrepreneurs start, when somebody lets you down, you find a way to make it better and improve it. And that's exactly what I did. I laid there and I looked at that wheelchair and I thought, you know what? If this happened to me, how many other people is this happening to? How many other people are struggling with their freedom, struggling with their mobility? Why do you have to import a wheelchair that can drive in rural terrain? So I got together with a stick in my mouth, with my buddy Peter, and we designed the ultimate all-terrain 4x4 wheelchair, the first one in Africa. Our company has been running for the last 14 years. I designed everything with a stick in my mouth on my computer. Some people get carpal tunnel syndrome. I got lockjaw. I go through quite a few teeth. Just wear my teeth down working. Terrible. I need to get a secretary. Any secretaries available? No, Zonda, you're not good looking enough, Mary. And this company has gone from strength to strength, sometimes to failure. You know why we have to have failures? Because if we don't have failures, we won't appreciate the strengths. We only can learn when we are beaten down on that ground. We only learn when we face adversity. But sometimes we need to be smacked down 3 times for the same thing, because we don't learn quick enough. But when we stand up that 4th time, we need to see what we can extrapolate from the hassles we went through. Why is the cash flow so bad? Why is the market dipped? Why is social media taking over my traditional marketing methods? Why do I have staff problems? Why are my importers so full of nonsense? Why am I struggling with my shipping? We need to reevaluate that continuously in our minds every single day. That is what makes you an entrepreneur. When you can sit and think ahead. You see, change happens. But change should not happen to you. You should be the disruptor. You should disrupt the environment. You should disrupt change. You should disrupt corporates. We need to be the entrepreneurs, the change agents. We are. Nobody should tell us what to do. We should show them how to do it the correct way. Our chairs have been exported to Brazil, US, UK, all over Africa. We're now sending one to Switzerland and to the UK and New Zealand. We have developed 6 models now. The latest model can take you from a sitting position to standing upright with full 4x4 function. This chair can drive on the beach, rural terrain. We supply chairs from Malamulele, Toyondo, all the way there where it's extremely hot. Do not go there in November, please. That place like death, man. It's right next to hell. It's like, oof. And we supplied them all the way down to Pofadar in Cape Town. And a lot of people ask me, what inspires me? What drives me to do what I do? And this should be the thing that drives every single one of you. Every single one of us. Is when we provide that service, when we deliver that wheelchair, when we deliver our product, and we see that customer satisfaction, that should be your inspiration to get up the next morning. Because I can promise you there's not a 9 to 5. There's not a regular salary. Holidays is a myth. When you left school, holidays went with it. Really. Especially the oaks that study 7 years to become attorneys. Yeah. Don't know holidays. But to be successful entrepreneurs, there are a few things you have to watch out for. You do not listen to the people that beat you down. Do not listen to the family members that tell you, you know what, it's not going to work. Do not listen to the mentors that say, man, I have to pick on this guy. My mom worked for attorneys for 30 years, so it's my turn back. But you get some mentors that are just going to push you down the whole time. And sometimes you have to push past those barriers. I was refused 10 times before I got financing. My first financing was 15,000 Rand from my father. And you should experience the first chair that we built, man. It was the coolest things. We got the motors, we built this frame. The frame looked something like this square box on top, except it was made out of steel. We put the motors on, we put the electronics on, and then we pressed the joystick forward. But the chair drove backwards. Then we pressed the joystick backwards, and the chair drove forward. We did not know how to fix it. But typical entrepreneur, we were innovative. We took the seat and we turned it around. That's it. So now my chair is driving the right direction. And that chair, that prototype, I took it to business partners. I said, here's the prototype. Please, if you drive on it, it's under your own risk. If you kill yourself, please don't come back to me. Please sign this waiver. My attorney has written it out very decently. And he took it for a drive. And we got 500,000 Rand funding. And that 500,000 Rand has now turned us into a 14-year multi-millionaire company. One of my greatest things is my staff. My booties. Ta'ali. It's always with me, always by my side. Sometimes I haven't been in the workshop for 3-4 months. To tell you the truth, my business card that's linked to my bank account, I do not know the PIN number over it. I do not know what color it is. I know it's Netbank, but that's about it. Because Ali has my bank card. When he needs something, he buys it. but he is the most stingiest guy in the world. If the guys in the workshop need a broom, I call now that broom has got 2 hairs on, man. You can still sweep up. He doesn't buy things. The guys write the things. I've got blackboards in my workshop. So the guys now need things, they write it on the blackboard. If it's not on the blackboard, Ali doesn't buy it. If it's on the blackboard and Ali thinks you don't need it, you don't get it. Sometimes I have to go to Ali and say, hey, man, when this guy is using his shoelaces to tie things, please, buy some cable ties. And that's trust. If you do not build that trust with your staff, if you do not build that trust with your suppliers, your customers, your company is worth very little. There are 3 things that is going to help you make it through 2019 and in the future. I'm just going to say these 3 things quickly. To make it in the next few years, number 1, customer experience. We're living in a technology today where your customer knows more than you. Before they come and buy from you, before they use your service, they have Googled you, they've LinkedIn you, they've Twittered you, they Instagrammed you, they know more about you. They know you. Beware of that. You can't fool your customer anymore. When you receive an email, there's these days where I'll get back to you in 12 hours. Doesn't work. When that customer clicks send, you know where he's going? He's going back on Google. He's searching for the next guy. That's why smartphones, man, if that guy sends you an email, you need to have an automated response that gives him an answer, or you need to get back to him within 30 minutes. That is the pace at which business is moving today. Number 2, you need to figure out how you can provide greater customer experience with little to no cost to yourself. I'll give you an example of what I did last year. Our wheelchairs, all these bodyworks, everything is made in-house. We don't outsource many things. Most of my guys, I've trained them, I send them for courses, how to do from the engineering to the fiberglass work, spray painting. But I came up with this idea and I thought, you know what? We've got these beautiful 4x4 wheelchairs with these smoothly painted bodywork that looks like a new car. Why? Let's make it rugged. Let's make it look like a 4x4. So what I did, I took rubberizing, that stuff that they spray at the back of the bucky, bed liner. I sprayed my whole wheelchair with rubberizing, and I sprayed the fairing with rubberizing. And then I put a color over it. So the wheelchair looks like a 4x4. It looks like the brand. So what did it cost me? Well, if I sent my frame in to have powder coated, the costing will be about 96 Rand. If I spray my frame, it will cost me about 260 Rand. So that I save money. Yes, because to prepare the bodywork, to get a perfect bodywork, those guys are into cars, and they've spray painted cars, they've done body putty. The art is in the preparation. It took my guys a week to prepare the bodywork. 1 week's worth of labor is worth much more than 260 Rand. So, I saved a week's worth of labor, but it cost me 260 Rand. But I'm selling the rubberizing look to my customers for 2,600 Rand. So, I'm making money, I'm saving time. You need to figure out a way how you can provide a better customer experience while low cost to yourself. And in the end, you have to persevere. Life is going to knock you down. It's going to be crappy. An entrepreneurial time, especially in today's market, unfortunately, especially in our country, it is extremely hard. I can tell you I have driven through Soweto, I've driven to Soshanguve, I've driven to beautiful townships, and I've never seen so many entrepreneurs in my life. Every single house is doing something. Either this one is making bricks, or that one is fixing carburetors, or gearboxes. Every single guy is doing something. There's so many entrepreneurs. If we can figure out a way where we can pool that knowledge together, like a platform like this, where we can get those guys together and teach them the little basic skills of, you know what, your personal account and your bank account are not the same account. There's a way how to do bookkeeping. There's a way how to do an invoice, a quotation. How do you present yourself professional? When I started this company, there were two of us, me and Peter. First thing I registered was a .com domain, so I can look international. Second thing I did, I registered 7 email addresses. I had Martin, I had sales, I had workshop, I had accounts, I had admin, I had info. And all 7 email addresses came to my email. Why? Because I'm creating this persona of being big, being corporate. And that's what we need to do to survive in 2019. I just want to leave you with this one thought. During your journey as an entrepreneur, people are going to judge you by 2 things. 2 things only. Number 1, they are going to judge you by your tenacity when you have absolutely nothing. When you're starting afresh, how tenacious are you going to be? And then, they are going to judge you by your attitude when you've made it and you had it all. Those are the 2 things. Always stay humble. Thank you, everybody. Lovely being here.
Wow. I think Martin, yeah, I don't even know what to say after that.
That was lekker, eh?
Must he continue, or you want to ask questions?
Oh, we need some questions from all the entrepreneurs.
To those that have questions, please come to my right so that we can take those questions. We'll take the first 3. I'm going to ask just 1 or 2 questions, and then those that want to ask questions, please come stand that side, and then you'll use the mic that I'm using. Martin, AV.
You see in your llama.
Please, when we move around the camera, please. Thank you. Martin, thanks a lot. It is a great honor and a privilege, to hear your personal story. Just to remind us of as human beings, there's many challenges that we can face, but it's up to us that, what we do with those. You can either sink or you can swim. And I'm glad that you have swam, because your story has actually impacted on me. It is a lonely journey as an entrepreneur. People don't at times understand, but having heard of your story, I cannot even come close to what you did. But we haven't. On your talk, you didn't talk much about radical mobility. Can you tell us, a bit more in detail your business model, the number of people that you currently employed, and what is the future holding for radical mobility?
Oh, the future is so bright. I need to wear shades. We're going to conquer the world, and that's my dream. My biggest goal is, if somebody gets disabled, to get them to that place where they can function fully again, you need to get them independent as quickly as possible. So if you can build them in a wheelchair, that gets them independent. If you can get them working on a computer, that gets them independent. And if you give them both, what stops them from starting a business? So my goal is radical mobility, and our motto is engineering accessibility, engineering mobility for accessibility. We don't just build wheelchairs that come off the shelf. That's the one thing we do. We don't pre-build wheelchairs. So we first go to the client, we see what environment they live in, what their needs are, what level of injury they are. Then we custom measure them. They choose what color they want the wheelchairs, what tire treads, what functions they need, and we custom build the wheelchairs. The reason is injuries, disabilities do not come off production lines. Why should wheelchairs come off production lines? And if you can provide a customized solution to customers, you're one step above the production line people.
Yeah, okay. And then your business, how long did it take you before you started being profitable?
Man, it's a tricky question. Sometimes you are profitable, sometimes you're not profitable. Then you expand, then you're not profitable. Well, I would say it took us about 5 years. 5 years before we just got past the break-even point where we could, wow, man, now we can afford a steak. It was one steak that we shared between everybody, but it was steak.
So 5 years before break-even?
5 years before making a profit.
Wow. And then before we take the questions from the audience, you know, with you exporting, how did it go about and what challenges did you face and how did you overcome the challenges of exporting?
Exporting, I faced because I faced a difficulty in our environment. Obviously, with the exchange rate, exporting is more favorable, isn't it? So the same wheelchair they could buy overseas, they could get from Africa, built much cheaper, but built to the same standard. The first thing we did, we tried to establish a distributor in the UK, which we got, and they bought us a few demo models. We had to build them very precise. They got to the UK and they absolutely loved it. Due to the pricing, due to the environment it can move around on, it's sturdy, it's rugged. It hasn't got, you have to service it every 3 months. You have to change the batteries maybe once a year, once every 2 years. And that's about the maintenance on it. So we built something that's low maintenance, rugged and durable, and that is competitive to the external market.
Proudly South African.
Proudly South African.
I'm Pearl. I'm a skincare manufacturer. I actually wanted to ask the question about exporting and importing because that seems to be a lot of challenge. Where do you start really and how do you go about it?
You got an extremely unique product. And the thing that you have to brand around your product is not specifically your product, but specifically where your product comes from. I'm actually busy with a new project, which first time I'm gonna tell you all about it. Yeah, exclusive year on Startup Grind, sponsored by Google.
We thank you.
And by PayFast. And PayFast is actually my payment gateway on my e-commerce website. Brilliant company.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to tell you now is, you all heard of Alibaba? Yes. Yes, you have. Guess what's coming? From Africa with Love. An African Alibaba, where you will be able to host your African-made products to the international market on a platform. Why? We have the skills, we have the products, we have the beauty, the culture that is so unique in this world. Let's do it. Let's host African-built products to the world so the world can see what the hell we can do. So I would say brand your product with an African twist to it, to the international market, and it will succeed.
My name is Jerry. My question basically, it's not a question. You mentioned 3 very important characteristics for entrepreneurs. I felt that you were a bit too fast with it.
Too fast.
Thank you.
Entrepreneurs to make it in 2019, I'll say this again, is that we need to find how we can provide better service to our current customers. Not just our current customers, but new customers. So you need to be a service-driven industry. The fact that you just put out a product and wait people to come in and buy it is not going to work. The days when we build a website and build it and they will come, it's not anymore. Customers are now so spoiled for choice that they go everywhere, they can find 10 other products. But what can you provide that other suppliers can't? Service. I drive around and collect customers' wheelchairs to have them serviced, and I deliver them to have them serviced at no cost. That's one thing my competitors do not provide. I have a turnaround time on a service of 1 day. If I pick it up in the morning, I'll deliver it in the afternoon, because I uniquely know how important that wheelchair is to that person. If I do not do their turnaround time in 1 day, he stays in bed for 2 days. So understanding your customers, understanding their needs is how you're going to make it. But understanding them is purely one thing. You need to provide them with an experience that other people can't. Something that they don't feel they have to pay an arm and a leg for, but yet they do pay for it. And it mustn't cost you an arm and a leg either. So you must figure out a way how you can provide service with a low cost to yourself. And that's the way we're going to make money. And then, obviously, we are in business today. We need to figure out how we can lessen our costs and make money. We're not in the business for charity. This is not a non-profit organization. We are in business to make money. But we have to do it by providing better service, great customer experience.
Thank you so much. I think it was very powerful, very inspirational as well. Yeah. So my question is this. I know a lot of people suffer from what you call excusitis, a disease of making excuses. Right? Now, you know, somebody in your position could have had that health excusitis, you know, to say, you know what, I haven't got the legs, I haven't got the hands, and, you know, all that, you know. Most people in your position, or not now, but then, they actually retired to, you know, to the grants. And you could have done that easily, right? Now, what I want to know is, it takes something special, and it must have taken same for you to say, I'm not going to have excuses. I'm not going to suffer from that excuse disease. Now, what was the driving force that made you to say, I am not going to have those excuses and be where you are today? Thank you.
You mean that lovely word, procrastination? Do we procrastinate? Do we? No, you don't. You don't suffer from procrastination. You have a habit of procrastinating. All habits can be broken. I'm going to teach you a quick 5-second rule, but it's not, I wish it was mine, I wish I could take credit for it, but an author friend of mine wrote this, Mel Robertson. It's called the 5-second rule. And this can apply not just to procrastination, to anything in your life that you are struggling with. Anybody play Cookie Jam on Facebook? Yeah, I struggle with that, man. When I start playing, I just can't stop. I know I have to do those invoices, but I just keep on playing that game. And you know when you're watching the soccer, the Kaiser Chiefs are losing so bad, we're not going to go there, okay. A sore point, no. And you know you have to get up, you have to wash the car, you have to take the dustbin out. The wife is yelling at you, "Weish," and you're just parking on the couch. Do you know how you can stop that? By 5 seconds. All I want you to do when you're in that situation, I want you to count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then stand up immediately. Never mind what the situation is. When your alarm clock goes off in the morning and it's 5:30, you know you have to go to gym. It's cold and don't reach for the snooze button there. What you do, you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you get up immediately. When you feel like you know you have to do that invoice, you're not less. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it immediately. Once you get into that habit of pushing yourself past that habit of procrastinating, not doing anything, you'll get to it. I am the worst procrastinator of all. I'm still writing my book for the past 3 years, which is terrible. But luckily, I had maths on higher grade, so I know 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. But don't do what I do, please.
Martin, what is the best way to achieve long-term success?
How do we describe long-term success? How do you describe how would you describe success, Sonny? Success in your life. What is success?
To me, that big house in the beach, having employees that I pay monthly, that's my success. Yours.
My success are very short-term achievements. I do not have a big goal success. Because if you set big goals, the path to get to that goal is a long, winding, difficult, struggling path, and then you tend to lose focus on that success. So what you should see as success are the short-term things that you're achieving. If you send out your first 10 orders to international clients, that is success. And what you should do is celebrate that success, because you earned it, you deserve it. We need to take credit for the things that we do. We don't. We beat ourselves down more times than what we take credit for what we're doing right. And we shouldn't. You're good at something, take credit for it. Be proud of it. Then small successes all count up to that final big success. And when you reach it, you'll know about it. But you would have appreciated all the small successes and the journey to get there.
Do you have any last questions? Last two comments? Okay, as the gentleman is coming, you have a mentor from CEDA. You know, what are your thoughts around this developmental agencies like CIFA, CEDA, GP?
It's the mighty.
The mighty one.
The mighty one. My friend. I've got him on speed dial on my phone. You know what? Mentors, having somebody you can fall back on to ask questions, ask advice. My WhatsApp is open. My Skype is open. My email is open. Anybody wants to email me for advice, you write martin@martinbrown.co.za. That's it, very easy. martin@martinbrown.co.za. And I'm there. Now, Mighty is there. If I need something, Mighty, what's this, man? Try it this and this way. And that's what mentors are. Mentors, you see, you get leaders. It's like motivation and inspiration. People call me a motivational speaker. I'm not. Motivation is like a shower. It's very short-lived. You need to take one regularly. But inspiration, I inspire people to take action, to implement change. And that is what a mentor is. He inspires you to do something. He does not push you. He does not motivate you, because nobody can motivate you to do anything. I cannot motivate you to get up tomorrow morning 6 o'clock and go to the gym. I cannot motivate an ostrich and tell them they can fly, because tomorrow morning they'll all walk to work. Motivation can only be done by you and you yourself. I can inspire you to motivate yourself. And that is what mentors do. They inspire us to motivate ourselves, to take action and implement change. That's why they are so important.
Thank you so much, Martin.
Just a quick one. You mentioned that it took you 5 years to make the first set of profit. 5 years.
5 years.
Within that period of time, how were you sustaining the company? Because it's a reality for some of us.
How did I finance myself in that period of time? Okay, the business loan that I actually got from business partners worked on this structure. They did not give you 500,000 Rand outright. Because guess what entrepreneurs will do with 500,000 Rand? Ish, I need a bakkie, man. Buy a bakkie, buy this, and then, I got no money to start the business. So what they actually did is said, how much do you need for this month? Break it down for me. Rent, salary, stock, how much do you need? I need 52,000. Cool, that's what you get. And so we structured it over 5 years. So I could keep afloat, although I was not making a profit or breaking even. I was staying afloat with their income. But after 5 years, I had to carry myself and start paying back. So that's the best way to structure financing. Lump sums do not work. We struggle to work with money, really. Even me.
I see a lot of unhappy faces. We want that lump sum. Martin, as we get ready to close, your biggest learnings in your entrepreneurial journey?
You have to fail in order to succeed. Don't think that if your business is 10 years old or 14 years old, you can sit back and think, I made it. You didn't. Because I can promise you, in 2 months' time, technology is going to come out with something that is going to change your life and flatten your business. As I said before, you need to be the disruptor in change. You can't sit back. The guys over there that work in social media, I went from traditional marketing, where I paid 30,000 Rand for an A4 page, full page color ad, to stopping it completely. I don't advertise in magazines anymore. Not at all. All my marketing is purely social media, Instagram, and internet. Because that is the world we are moving in today. When last have you really bought a magazine? No. Why? You take your tablet, you Google it, you find it. That is the way we're moving in now. That's where marketing and advertising is. So my thing is, do not ever take it comfortably. Always be on the tips of your toes, at the forefront of your business, know exactly what every single person is doing. Do not worry about your competitors, because guess what? They are not the guys that are putting money in your bank account. Your customers put the money into your bank account, not your competitors. Stop watching what they are doing. Start doing things which they wish they did.
Parting shot advice to those that are starting out in their entrepreneurial journey and those that are already, running but have not hit the 5-year mark and they're just about to give up. What advice can you give as we close?
Those who are starting up an entrepreneurial journey, stop, get a regular job, please, bam. Be assured that your journey is not going to be easy. There is no 9 to 5. You're going to work late hours. You're going to have difficult people. You can't satisfy all the people all the time, but you can satisfy most of the people most of the time. Do not beat yourself up. Be tenacious. Be perseverant. And continue. Because in the end, it's going to be worthwhile. It's one hell of a journey. It's not about the destination.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Martin Brown, the CEO of Radical Mobility. Martin, thanks a lot. We wish to see you a lot more times. Thank you. Martin is still around. If you want to take pictures, if you want to speak to him, please, he's all yours. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, everybody.